guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Anastasia. Welcome everybody. I decided I want to fit in one more video in 2020. I really want to make this video like a mashup between review, balloon garland, and Q&A. I am reviewing a UBackdrop backdrop that I will be making, of course, something out of balloons to go with the backdrop. And if you follow me on Instagram, diy.with.anastasia, you seeing kind of like a poll of me asking you guys to give me your questions so I can answer. My initial plan was to finish 2020 with Q&A, but not a lot of you guys had questions, so I decided to mesh everything together, balloon garland review and Q&A in one video. Before I'm gonna start this video, I really want to wish you the happiest 2021 year ahead of you. You guys, 2020 wasn't easy. It wasn't easy whatsoever. Lots been happening in the world, in personal lives, and everywhere where you look, a lot is happening. And I wish that 2021 will be better for everyone. You guys, God has everything under control. Put the trust in Him. If God is for us, who can be against us, right? Happiest 2021. Lots of blessings to every single one of you. And without any further ado, let's go. So this is the backdrop that I am reviewing today from UBackdrops. This backdrop had a little bit of a different design on this page. They had some kind of words right here. I can't remember what it was, but I reached out and asked if they could change the design on this page. And I went for these beautiful squiggly, curly, like vines looking design, and I really like it. I haven't opened this backdrop, so let's open this up together. Moment of truth. You guys, this is a very cute. Look at this. I absolutely love the material that they use for their backdrops, you guys. It's kind of like velvet, but it's not really velvet. It's very smooth, very nice to the touch, low ironing, safe in washer and dryer, can be reused. So to hang this backdrop, I am using my backdrop in the back. I always use that backdrop. I will link my frame in the description under the video. I bought it on Amazon and I've been hunting for that frame for so long. My frame has these big plates. They are heavy and the whole structure is sturdy. That's what I love about my frame. So to put the upper pipe through this backdrop, you guys, they made this opening right here in their backdrop that you put the pipe through this opening and you hang your backdrop like this, and you don't have to like break your brains of thinking, how can I hang this backdrop, right? So let's go put it on my backdrop and see how it's going to look on my backdrop. Is on my frame and it's looking beautiful. Absolutely love the design, love the colors, nothing over the top, nothing crazy, but straight to the point. Fairy tale in a book. It was a little bit too long, so I folded my backdrop at the bottom a little bit to make it flush with the floor, and it looks great. Now we need to make this backdrop look even better by ironing all of the wrinkles that we have on our backdrop. You guys, if you're doing this professionally and you're doing this for a client, you guys, please iron all of your fabrics. It looks much sleeker, much more completed, much more polished, and it looks just so much better. I always take this little guy with me to any event that I am working at. And just to be sure, if I have some kind of wrinkle, I can, you know, steam it out and it would look beautiful. This backdrop, the instructions for this backdrop say that you can use a iron on a low setting. I am using a steamer and it works just great. I will link the steamer in the description under this video. Works great. It's worth the buy if you're doing this professionally as your career. This is very handy. I even take this thing to travel with me because it's little and it does not take a lot of space. So let's steam this out. looks so much better after steaming. So time for the first question. Do you spray your outdoor balloon garlands to keep from oxidizing? What do you use? I do not spray any of my balloons, and if I have to spray it, I use High Shine. I already tested High Shine in one of my videos, and the best tip that I can give it to you with High Shine is to treat your balloons indoor and then take those treated balloons outdoor and then build a garland, or build the garland inside. Treat all of your balloons with High Shine and then take your balloon garland outside. Balloons will not oxidize. The shine will last a lot longer. When I was testing the High Shine, my balloons never went matte, so that's amazing. And I will link the High Shine in the description under this video. By the way, you guys, I absolutely love when balloons are matte. Love it. I will take matte over shiny any day. All set up and ready to inflate my balloons. I am using electric balloon pump. This pump is Zoom from Lord Dill Paper and Balloon Company. If you would decide to purchase this pump or anything else from Lord Dill Paper and Balloon Company's website, you can always use my code Anastasia10 for 10% off at checkout. This is an affiliate code, and it's totally up to you if you want to use it or not. This code is valid only for your first purchase and if you're a new customer to Lord Dill Paper and Balloon Company. Today I am working with lots and lots of Quakatex balloons in different colors, and I am using one color from Quakatex. I mainly will be using 17, 11, and some of the 5-inch balloons. I might include some 24. We'll see as we go. So here are the colors I am using, or I will try to use: Willow, Canyon Rose, Sangria, I hope I pronounced that right, Blush from Quakatex. This is the only color from Quakatex I am using, Gray Smoke, and Mustard color. Here's my thought process of how I make my balloon garlands from lots and lots of colors, because sometimes it's difficult to bring all of the colors together in one balloon garland, and some people make a mistake and they try to include as many colors into the base as they can possibly fit into that base, and it can sometimes create such a mess. It can work, don't get me wrong, but sometimes it creates such a mess. So this is how I think all of my colors through when I am working with lots of colors at once. I'm looking at this pile. I am working with 6 colors today. I am trying to pick 3 colors for the base of my balloon garland, build the full garland with those 3 colors, and then to build my balloon garland up, I will be using the rest of the colors and make those colors as pops of colors and mixing them in with the base colors. I hope that makes sense. And yeah, let's go. Let's inflate them. Let's start inflating and constructing our balloon garland. Here's what I'm doing with balloons. I'm taking 11-inch balloons and I am inflating them at the same time, into different sizes. As soon as I inflated them, I am pressing them against the floor to give them more rounder shape. This step is completely optional. Some people like a little bit more elongated look. I like for my balloons to be more rounded, and tying these balloons together into a pair like this. I will be mixing 11 with 17, and I will play around with sizing as well to create different sizes balloons. I am not mixing up all the colors together. I am working with one color at a time. Time to cluster our balloons. So I am taking 2 different sizes pair of balloons and I am intertwining them together, grabbing another pair, adding, intertwining everything together to make sure nothing's going to pop out and go places. One more, and adding into my balloons, intertwining everything. And let me show you a close-up of how everything looks in the middle. This is how everything looks inside of this cluster. Everything is nice and tangled together. Let's cluster the rest of our balloons. I'm gonna go and inflate more balloons, let's answer some questions. So next one is, what made you start? What did you have when you started? If we're talking about balloon garlands, what made me started, then I made my first balloon garland for my daughter's birthday. I had no idea what I was doing. My husband was inflating balloons. We overinflated all of the balloons, literally. When I was constructing that first balloon garland, it was popping left and right, and I had no idea why until I made my third balloon garland, and then I started to understand what is happening, because by the third balloon garland I did a lot of research, and I invested in myself by teaching myself what I need to do with balloons and how to build a proper modern looking balloon garlands, like organic balloon garlands. By my third balloon garland, I fell in love with the process of making balloon garlands. Balloons are very interesting. You need to know a lot about them, and you need to have an open mind, because you can do so much with balloon garlands, and that's what I love. I'm a creative person. I like to create, I like to experiment, and I like to learn with my hands. I am a visual person as well, so with balloons, I was interested and fascinated to look at just a simple balloon like this, and out of nowhere, after I don't know how many hours, boom, you have something beautiful out of a simple balloon. Add a little bit of flowers here, add a little bit of flowers there, and it takes your balloon garland to another level. The creativity aspect of balloon garlands got me interested and got me started. Let me know what made you start making balloon garlands and researching for balloon garlands. I'm very interested. What did I have when I started my balloon garlands? Well, I basically had nothing. I only had a PVC pipe frame that I borrowed from my sister-in-law, because when I was starting my YouTube channel, I switched from DIYs to backdrops, and I needed the frame. So frame was there already, and for balloons, it's impossible to inflate everything with your lungs. So I had to purchase a pink Amazon balloon pump. That's the only thing that I purchased. And then later on, I got myself a balloon tying tool because I was killing my fingers, and that's basically all I had. If I would go back, I would probably purchase myself a hand pump plus to everything that I had. So I would have 5 things. I feel like these are the most important things to have when you start, and of course not counting the balloons and a fishing line or curling ribbon, whatever to have to hang your balloon garland to a structure. I love answering these types of questions because it takes me back, and it's so good to go back and see where I started and where I am right now. Inflating these 17-inch willow color balloons, and I realized I only 6 balloons in 17-inch, so I inflated them as small as possible, and I kept them single tied, and I feel like I want to spread them all over the balloon garland evenly. We'll see. And for my 17-inch mustard color, I feel like I want to inflate around like 2 clusters from these 17-inch balloons. So let's try to do that. To construct our balloon garland, I am reaching inside of this cluster and looking for the longest balloon neck. This looks pretty long and stretchy. Going to my second cluster, doing exactly the same thing, looking for the longest neck. Looks great. Taking these 2 necks and tying them together. How everything looks tied, just like this. It holds the balloons very nice and snug to each other. Doing exactly the same thing with the rest of my clusters until I am happy with the size of my balloon garland. Grabbing curling ribbon, my scissors, and tying my balloon garland straight to this pole from my frame. starting to build my balloon garland a little bit more and starting to fill in spaces with the rest of my balloons. I am grabbing a cluster rubber band and looping this rubber band over a balloon. And here I have this rubber band that I can loop over any balloons on my balloon garland. Let me show you a close-up. I am placing this cluster somewhere right here because I want to elongate my balloon garland and finish it off a little bit higher than my frame. So taking my rubber band and looping over the balloon. Just like that, playing around with this cluster, seeing what's better. Then I would like to take another rubber band and go over another balloon from another side to really secure this cluster on this spot. You can absolutely use 260s balloons or anything else that works for you. You can also find a neck in your cluster right here. Grab a neck from this cluster and tie everything together. That will work too. This balloon garland looks a little bit empty and I want to build it up a little bit more. Maybe I want to give a turn here and maybe build it out more into the room, but it's extremely hard for me to build something out into the room because my room is not as big as it might seem on a camera. And to show you the whole structure, the whole setup in one frame basically will be impossible. Even taking pictures will be impossible as well. I want to get out more out of this room in 2021 and create beautiful, huge, amazing looking garlands outdoors. I am using rubber bands to build the bottom of this garland. Why rubber bands? Because I like the idea that you can remove your rubber band from the balloon and place your cluster somewhere else on the other side or higher or lower. With glue dots and low temperature glue gun, you won't be able to do that. You can also use 260s to kind of mimic the rubber band, basically exactly the same thing. You just take the 260, tie your 260 to the cluster, then those two tails that you will have after tying the 260, you tie them together and you will get the loop. And you basically loop your 260s with the cluster anywhere you want, and it's going to be exactly the same as rubber bands. So let's try and build the bottom up and see what I can do with whatever I have here. It's looking good so far. Let's answer another question. How should I start pricing if I'm a new balloon company? First things first, don't go crazy with pricing. Just because you're just starting out, you need that portfolio, you need that experience with balloons, and you need experience with clients as well. But be reasonable. Do not put yourself in debt and do not work in minus. That's very important. I started making balloon garlands for free, then I started charging for supplies, and after a little bit of time I started charging for my time. So little by little people started noticing my work and I started raising my prices as well. Here's how I price. I count in supply cost, everything that you will be using for the balloon garland. All of the balloons, if it's latex, latex prices. If you're using extra foiled, self-sealing, any other balloons, add those in as well. If you're using rubber bands, if you're using anything else, add that in. Then I am charging per hour. Some people charge per foot of a garland. It's totally a preference for you guys. Hourly works the best for me. If it took me, for example, 4 hours and I charge $50 an hour, it's gonna cost just my time, it's gonna cost $200. For example, those supplies that I will use cost me $100. $100 for supplies, $200 for 4 hours, it's already $300. Then you would charge for delivery. And if a client wants to rent a frame or anything else, or you can include that in the price of your balloon garland. I hope I didn't make that confusing. If anything else, leave your question in the comment section below and I will try my best to help you out. Happy with the shape of this balloon garland. Now I want to move on to my accent colors, trying to put this willow with this gray color. I feel like these two colors, they complement each other, and the green gives a little bit more variety and a little bit more life into this balloon garland. If you remove the green, you can see that it's your usual kind of like combination of colors, and I want something that is unusual. So I feel like this green gives a lot of unusualness to the balloon garlands. Here's how I will be attaching my single balloons to the garland. I am taking my rubber band, folding in half, and wrapping that folded rubber band around the knot on my balloon, grabbing one loop, one end, and feeding the end into the rubber band loop, pull on the tail to tighten the knot on my rubber band. And now I have this rubber band and I can loop it over any balloon on my balloon garland. Giveaway rules to win a backdrop from UBackdrops. You must be subscribed to my channel, like this video, and follow me on Instagram at diy.with.anastasia. Giveaway will last for a week. Part of my garland, even though it does not have gray, I will still put the green there because it looks complete. If you look at the whole thing, this balloon is definitely needed there. I feel like this corner needs another balloon in green, and I was out of 17-inch balloons, so I grabbed a 24 and inflated as small as possible. 5-inch balloons, I'm taking 2 pairs of balloons and intertwining them together and creating quads like these. You guys, great example to show you that you think you hit the record button but you didn't, and you try to explain something for the last 15 minutes and it wasn't even recording. Well, this just happened to me. As you can see, I've placed my blush color because I thought it was recording. Good thing I checked, because I would have finished the whole thing and I wouldn't be able to show you what I did. Anyways, I placed this blush color against the lightest color on my balloon garland. The reason is I am trying to create less contrast over here. I don't want my balloons, my blush, pop out as much as possible, because I want to keep this blush a little bit muted, even though it's very well noticeable, right? I would do totally different with different garlands, because all depends on the style, on things that you want to create in that moment for the client or for the event. It varies, but this time, just because a lot is happening, lots of colors are happening in this balloon garland, I am trying to keep everything aesthetically pleasing and pleasing to the eyes. So I hope that makes sense. I attach all of my 5-inch balloons with rubber bands like I did with larger balloons, and yeah, let's finish this up. Just saw me removing these balloons from here to here. There's a reason for it. When I stepped back and looked at it, I didn't like how these balloons right here were drooping my balloon garland down. It's not a good look for a balloon garland because it looks very sad, and it gives you an illusion of a shorter balloon garland. You know what I mean? And if you will point your balloon garland just a tiny bit, just change the shape of it a little bit upwards, it will give you an illusion of a taller balloon garland. This is how this garland looks with lights. You guys, I am loving this whole thing. Lights, So perfect in here. Love the effect that they give to my balloon garland. Now we need to insert some greenery. So I have this vine over here, and I don't have enough or a lot of it, but I will try to mix it up with other greeneries as well. We'll see what I'm going to come up with. I am simply pressing my greenery between my balloons, and it will hold it pretty well. This is what I have for you guys today. This is my final balloon garland. I am in love with everything that I see here. Everything looks and works awesome together. The backdrop, lights, greenery, all the balloons, perfect. I ended up using 40 balloons per color. This color, and the gray color. 40 balloons per color. Then I used 7 willow color balloons and 28 blush color balloons. I ended up using necks of balloons to construct this whole thing. I used rubber bands to attach extra balloons to my garland and curling ribbon to tie this whole structure to my frame. I pushed my greeneries between my balloons and they hold very nicely. I also laid my lights first between my balloons, and then I filled everything after the lights. It works the best. I am so happy that I didn't use the mustard color in here because it would have been overboard. This is so adorable, so cute, nothing over the top, but so enough in this setup. Love it. Also, I will try to include some of the pictures at the end of this video. It will be a little bit tough for me to capture everything in one picture because, as I said earlier, my room is not big enough to capture if I would build something out into the room. This is what happens. I absolutely love building balloon garlands out, but it's tough to photograph them. Anyways, I will link and list everything in the description under the video. Thank you, UBackdrop, for sending me this beautiful, beautiful backdrop. It will be linked in the description under the video as well. I hope you enjoyed this video and see you in the next one.